Hello, my name's Aaron from Geeky Development and welcome to our Xcode tutorials. And in this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to earn revenue from your applications with Google's very own AdMob advertising service. Now what this allows us to do is give up a small space within our application to display Google's very own AdMob banners within our app. This will give us the ability to earn a small portion of revenue within our applications. And how it works is by simply importing the Google AdMob framework within our project to give us all the capabilities to allow us to do this. We're then going to be using a simple UI view to house our banner and making sure that it looks perfect along all screen sizes. So let's jump straight into it. Okay then, so the first thing we're going to do to get AdMob banners displayed within our application is first set up our profile of our application within AdMob. So what I'm going to do is head over to the AdMob website, and you see I've got it loaded up here. If you haven't already, create an account or simply sign in and then go to monetize and select monetize a new app. Now if your application already exists on the App Store and you just simply want to add AdMob to it to start earning revenue, then you can simply search for your app on there and you can pre-configure the profile from the application already out there. Or alternatively, if you're simply adding AdMobs into an application you're currently creating that's not public just yet, just simply go to add your app manually. So we're going to give it a name. I'm going to give this a simple name for the tutorial, so Swift AdMob tutorial there. It's only for your own references, so you can see it within the performance reports, which application is earning you the most money. So you don't really have to make it the same name as your application, just something that you can see when you're referencing within your reports. Then simply change the platform to iOS and then go to add a new app. So then you're given the option to choose what format of banner or ad you want to display within your application. Now this tutorial we're only going to be covering how to display AdMob banners within the app. We cover AdMob interstitial ads within an application in our next coming lecture. So if you want to learn about the interstitial ads, make sure you go check out that tutorial. So this one we're simply going to select banner. Then you're given a few configuration options to how you want the banner to look within your application. So you have the ability to toggle if you want it to be text or image, and I would suggest that you keep both of these toggled as it gives you a much wider variety. And if you don't have image ads toggled, then you won't earn as much money, or people are less likely to click it. A text banner compared to a simple image banner. But you also need to make sure that you have text toggled, because not always is there going to be an image banner to display. So I simply suggest keeping both of those toggled. Then we have an automatic refresh, and what this does is basically it's preset on 60. This means every 60 seconds the ad will refresh itself and then display a new one. Now you have the option to display or kind of change it between 30 and 120 seconds. Now this is great. You can make it shorter, that it refreshes every 30 seconds. It used to be that you could change it and have it between 6 up to 120 seconds, but when it was down to 6, there was so many refresh rates that people weren't earning as much money. So Google have now changed it to a minimum of 30, which is handy for if you have a view that your users won't really spend much time on and you still want to display ads. Again, you can give them more variety and they're more likely to click on the ad banner if it keeps refreshing in case they come across something they like. So I'm going to simply keep that on 60. We then add a text ad style, which you can choose from standard, which is by default, or customized. And all this does is gives you the ability to customize what the banner would look like if you're only displaying text ads. So you can change the background color, the border of the ad banner, title, text, and URL color, as you can see there. So again, if you're got a particular themed application, you want to also make your ad banners themed to your application, it will make it less intrusive, like the banners merging with the app, which is pretty great. So then all we need to do then is give it an unit name. Now again, this is only for your own references. So when it comes to the revenue report, you can see which banners are performing better than others by giving it a name. So I'm just going to simply call this banner. So you can call it whatever you like and then simply save. So once you press save, you basically set up your application profile within AdMob. And one very important thing on this page is this add unit ID here. Now this ID is going to be added into our application. This is so our application knows when it displays an ad banner, it knows it's your ad in your account for this app. So this is the identifier for the ad. So we'll come back to that when we go to add the app in the application. But next, we need to download Google Mobile Ads SDK. Now, if you don't already have it, just simply click this link, and then you'll go to the download page where you can simply click Google Mobile Ads SDK iOS. Simply download that, and then unzip the folder. So once you've downloaded it, I've already got it on my desktop. Here we go. It kind of basically contains a framework and some meditation adapters. So we'll come to that in just a sec. So make sure you've got that handy. Then back within AdMob, we're then going to go to our SDK integration guide. So within this, we're going to go to the Get Started section on the left, where this Get Started just simply runs you through how to add and how to integrate it in many different ways, from importing the framework for using CocoaPods. There's many different ways on how you can set this up. But what we're very interested in is a certain part of this Get Started guide. Now, for AdMob banners to work and display in our applications, it requires a few frameworks within the project to run off. So if we scroll down now, I think it's about halfway down the page, you will see a big list, as you can see there, of all the frameworks, let's highlight them here, all them frameworks that we need to add into our project. So I'll just move this to the side as I remember my project set up. So I've got a simple single view application here for the iPhone, and I've simply named it AdMob Swift for the purpose of this tutorial. So the reason we need all these frameworks is because AdMob, or Google, they provide so many different ads that work in so many different ways. Some play music, some give us alerts. There's lots of different things these ads can do, and it needs all these frameworks to basically support it. So what we're going to do then is add in all these frameworks, and we're going to add in the Google AdMobs framework that we just simply downloaded. So first then, we're going to click on our project at the top here. I'm going to right click and go to new group. Now I'm adding a new group and I'm going to call it AdMob. And the reason I'm adding in a new folder here for a new group is so when we now place in, if I bring up our zip file here, we can simply highlight both of these. We don't need our README text file. We just need our framework and our meditation adapters. We're going to drag and drop it into our AdMob folder here, and make sure you select copy items if needed, and we've added it to our targets. Now the reason I placed it within a folder is because when you're developing your applications, it's quite handy that you place certain stuff within folders just to simply keep your application kind of directory nice and tidy, and you can find things a lot simple. So you can see now our Google Mobile Ads framework is now added in. We'll just need to add in the remaining ones now, which is quite a few. And if you've added AdMobs into your applications before, maybe in iOS 9, maybe in iOS 8 or 7 or 6, back then there wasn't as many frameworks that you needed as there is today. So it just shows you how far advanced and how far AdMobs has come. So back within our project then, we're going to go to our build phases. We're going to drop down our link binary of libraries and click our little plus symbol. So the first thing we want to add then is our ad support. Add that in. The second is our audio toolbox. There we go, we're going to add that one into. Next is our AV foundation. There we go. Now the next ones is core graphics, core media, and core telephony. We can add all three of those together. So simply type in core, we're going to need graphics, media, and telephony there. There we go, add those three in. Next is our event kit and event kit UI, add both of those in. Then we need our media player. There we go. And then our message UI framework. And then our store kit. There we go. And then finally, we need to add in our system configuration framework. There we go. So there's quite a few, but these are all required to simply run AdMob within our application. Okay, so we've got all those in there. We're just going to simply bring those back into the center, and I'll expand our project over here. Right then. So we've now got those in. You can see all these frameworks are now placed within it. So you can either choose to throw those somewhere cleaner, maybe in our products. But what I'm going to do is select all of these frameworks now and move them into the same folder as our AdMob banners there, and then simply minimize our AdMob folder so it's all simply out the way. So that's a great thing about keeping your project nice and tidy. So now I'm going to press Command B just to simply build the project, not run it, just simply build it, just so all the new stuff that's added in kind of gets updated. And then what I'm going to do is first head into our main.storyboard. Now then, how we're going to do this is we're going to set up a ad banner within our main.storyboard. And how we do it is we get a simple UI view. Now this simple UI view is going to be the size of a particular ad banner. And we're going to change it. We're going to link it up, this UI view, to our banner view class or framework within our AdMob folder. And that's going to kind of basically use that to display the ads within it. Now we're also going to use this UI view to display one ad on all different screen sizes. And what I mean by that is if you're creating an application which has one screen for all different devices, you're using constraints, it can be quite hard to get a simple banner to fit in, adjust and work on every screen size. So what I'm going to do then is select our view here. I'm going to change the size to a simple iPhone screen, as you can see there. And then what we're going to do then is add in a simple UI view, which should be at the bottom just down here. There it is. There we go. Now this UI view is going to be basically a window to display the AdMob banner from within it. So just to make it a little bit more viewable, I'm going to change the background color just to simply blue here so we can simply see it. And I need to make this the actual size of our AdMob banner. So back within AdMob, as you see our Get Started section here, we're now going to go to our banner ads. And within our banner ads gives us all the different sizes that we can use to display basically banners within our applications. So you can see you've got all these different sizes here. And what I'm kind of more interested in is a standard banner. And the standard banner size is 320 by 50. So within our project, we're going to make this view. Change that to 320 by 50. There we go. We've got a simple ad banner in there. Now, if I drag this to the bottom, and you may notice that there's space either side, but that's fine because an ad banner, the largest width it's going to be is 320 for the smallest iPhone screen. You can choose to use a screen width of a smart banner which adjusts itself, but we're going to keep it nice and simple with a standard banner. So what we're going to do then is first, as you can see, we've got it in here. If I changed the screen size, so let's say the smaller iPhone screen, it just simply disappears. So we need to add in constraints that whatever screen size we're on, it remains at the bottom of the view, it remains 320 by 50, and it remains centered to the application. So we need to add in some of our own constraints. So simply highlight the UI view at the bottom, go to pin, and add in a simple pin at the bottom, so it pins it to the bottom of our view, and add a pin for the width and the height so it remains 320 by 50, and add those three constraints in. Then what we need to do is make sure that we have this view centered at all times. So right click on it and drag it up and let go, and center horizontally in the container. So this now means then if I changed to our smaller iPhone screen, we go down a size, again, it stays the same size, remains center. Our 4 stays the same size, remains center, and our 3 there stays the same size and remains center. Now just notice that it's a little bit off center actually myself here. So within our size space, you can see it's gone -1, so let's place that to center. There we go, it fills up the whole thing there. I must have placed that off myself there. So back on the larger iPhone screen now, you can see it's dead centered with our constraints. And on the smaller iPhone screen, centered, and again, it remains 320 by 50. Perfect. We've now got it all set up. So let's put it back to the larger iPhone screen now. And what we're going to do is create an outlet for this UI view. Now the outlet we're going to create is going to completely change this UI view. It's no longer going to be a UI view. It's going to be a Google Ad banner view. And when we do this then is click on our files owner and bring up our assistant editor. Space out our outlet section here. We're then going to import our Google mobile ads framework into it, so we can use all the framework stuff within it to basically change our UI view into our kind of ad banner view. We're then going to add the delegate. So just have our UI view controller, GAD banner view delegate. There we go. And then we're going to select our banner here. Now, before we create the outlet, we're going to go up to our identity inspector and change the class here to GAD banner view. So this is going to completely change how the UI view works, how it kind of reacts, and it's going to turn it into a window or a little portal to display our ad within it. So now when we right click it and drag it up to create it as an outlet, you'll then see the type has now changed from a UI view to a GAD banner view. Now I simply call that banner and then connect that up. Okay, so we're now going to close the assistant editor. We've set up all of our interface here, as this now is configured to stay at the bottom and make sure it doesn't change sizes on different screens. So back within our view controller.swift now, we're now going to set up the rest of our code now to basically display our first ad within our banner view. So again, like I said before, now our UI view is no longer a UI view. It's now been changed to a Google ad banner, and it's now going to set up and display it within it. So we're going to space out our view did load, and what we're going to do in the view did load, and is once the application loads up, it's going to request a ad from our ad ID, our identifier that we set up, and then load that into our banner. But first we need to set it as a delegate. So we get our banner.delegate to equal self. And then we're going to get our banner, and this time we do dot add unit ID and equal that to the identifier of the profile that we created. So quickly, back within AdMob, we're then going to go to our first tab we created, where we got our add unit ID. We're going to simply highlight this and then paste that within the string of our add unit ID. This is so it knows when it calls this ad from this ID, we know the ad that's going to be displayed is linked up to our profile within AdMob. It knows it's our ad, and then once it starts earning us a little bit of revenue, we can see it in the reports. So once we've got the ID linked up, we're then going to set our banner dot root view controller to equal self, and then we're going to load up that request. So again, we get our banner dot load request, and what we're going to be loading up is our GAD request, and then we just finish up there with our two brackets in the side there. So this is all we need to kind of request an ad from our ID and then display it within our view. But don't think that is all you need. Don't simply see now, yes, this displays the Anna, okay, so I can add this into our application. Where you are correct, but please don't do that. There's a few more configurations we need to set up to how we can handle the banner when we receive an error, or kind of if anything happens to the banner, we need to basically configure how it interacts with the application. So before we do that, we're just going to simply test that the ad displays within our app. So we're going to go to build and run now and just wait for this to simply load up. As you can see there, it's now displaying. Now it did take a few moments for me, and it may do for you. So for the first time you're trying to display an ad, you don't see it straight away. Don't worry, because the first time you're trying to connect to your ad ID, there may be a little bit of a delay, maybe still trying to set itself up. But just give it a few minutes and then your ads will start appearing. So my ad is now appeared at the bottom. But don't think, now the ad's appearing, so we're good to go, we complete our applications. Don't think that. And you see how it just refreshed there and changed the ad. We now need to be able to handle for when an error occurs, whether an error occurs in the application, maybe your user loses internet connection, or maybe at any given point your user had no internet connection and all of a sudden gets one. We need to make the banner, the ad, very dynamic. And what I mean by that, we're going to make sure that it hides and reveals itself when there's an ad available. So it reveals itself when there's an ad, and then when there's no ad, it simply hides itself. So what I'm going to do now is configure it and change it up a little bit more. So just before our banner gets called, we're going to have our banner dot hidden set to true. This means as soon as the view loads up, our banner is going to be hidden. Now we're going to call a function for if the banner receives an ad to then reveal the banner. So we do our add view did receive ad there. I'm going to simply get our banner dot hidden to equal false. There we go. So if I go to build and run now, initially it's going to be hidden. As you see, it pops up there. So once it receives that ad, it then reads that function statement that it did receive it, and then changes the hidden kind of attribute of our banner to false, which then reveals it. So we do this because when your user loads up the view, they could not have internet connection from the very start. And then rather showing some error message or some blank white box or whatever color it is, we simply hide it from the offset and then only reveal it if an ad simply gets displayed within it. Now we need to perform the opposite. For our ad view this time did fail to receive ad with error, which is just here. I'm just doing the complete opposite. So we get our banner view dot hidden to equal true. So whether your user drops connection through the middle of an ad or anything happens that kind of stops an ad from showing, so if it failed to receive an ad with an error, then it gets our banner view and equals the hidden to true. So basically it means it's going to hide it from our user. So again, it doesn't reveal that horrible blank white square or any error within the view. So our user can resume kind of normal progress with the app without being interrupted by these annoying ads. And you're basically able to handle how the ads are used, whether they get an ad or they don't get an ad. So we're going to build and run once more. You can see now our ad is now displaying. So if there was any error to occur at any given point, then our ad wouldn't show up. If there was no internet connection at the start, again, our ad wouldn't show up. It only appears once it receives an ad to show to our user. So there we go then. This banner is very dynamic as it changes and sticks to the bottom of the view no matter what iPhone screen you're on. And it now basically hides and reveals itself at any given point. So then, this is simply how we can display AdMob banners within our applications. Now, if you want to learn how to display the interstitial ads within an application which load up full screen over our app, then make sure you check out our next tutorial on this, which we cover in great detail just like this tutorial. So there we have it. We can now display AdMob banners within our applications, and in return for doing so, we start to earn a small revenue from the ads. Now, this is not the only way we can earn revenue from within our applications by using AdMob. And in the next tutorial, which I suggest you go check out, we're going to be adding in interstitial ads within our app from AdMob. And what these are is large full screen ads which have a much higher revenue share and come back when we use them, and we can trigger them at any given point within the application to display to our user. So I'd like to thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Hey guys, just before you go, I'd like to thank you for watching this tutorial, and if you did enjoy it, make sure you click that big like button down below. And if you'd like to further your knowledge and progress within iOS 9, Xcode 7 for Swift 2 and Objective-C, where you can learn how to create 20 real-life applications, links for these will be below in the description of the video. And if you'd like to learn iOS development on the go, then make sure you check out one of our many iOS applications where you can learn how to create applications again within Objective-C and Swift. The links for these will also be in the description down below. And I'd just like to say one last time, if you did enjoy this video and it did help you out in any way, make sure you hit the big like button down below on the video, and make sure you check out our website geekylemon.com, where you can find the full source code for this tutorial and all the others we offer. And make sure you like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter so you can keep up to date with what's coming here at Geeky Lemon. So once more, let's thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial.